Right, I've got a golden one for you this week. So I'm now jobless.
Congratulations.
I've just left my job.
Well done.
I've never been happier. I'm shit scared.
Yeah.
Really scared. Am I going to be able to pay my bills in 2 months? I've got about a month and a half to 2 months worth of living behind me, which means I've got a month to make some income. But I have some faith. I have some strategy. I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a go. I've got a job waiting on the back line, so it's like my parachute when I get below 2,000 feet.
Is that a backup plan?
It's naughty, isn't it? It's
Do you
naughty.
think Elon Musk has a backup plan?
I interviewed
Not
for the job.
comparing you to Elon Musk. But.
I interviewed for the job before I decided I was going to burn the... Thanks, by the way. Before I decided I was going to burn the boats. And then I figured that as a coach, I can't keep telling people to get out of their comfort zone, to do things that are uncomfortable for them if I'm not willing to do that myself. Yep. Right? So I'm giving it a go. One of the big things that ticked me off about this company was there was no evolution, no forward progress, because one of the standard responses I was met, and we get this a lot as coach, that's the way I've always done it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way it's always, that's what I'm used to. This is what I know. This is what's safe. And in a very similar way, me having a job is what I've always done. Safe.
There's not a saying, but I can't remember where I read it, right? But basically it was the daughter of a mother that her mother taught her to cut the ends of ham off to then cook it,
right?
A ham joint. And the daughter had always done it as well. And then the new boyfriend on the scene was like, "Why are you cutting the ends off the ham?" "Oh, that's what I've always done, and that's what my mum has always done." Okay, and then he got curious, like, "Okay, why does your mum do it?" So they called her mum. It's like, "Why do you cut the ends off?" "Oh, because I've always done it. So it changes the taste." And then, okay, so who taught you that? "Oh, it was my mum." So then they called her and said, "Why do you cut the ends off the ham?" "Do you know why?"
Always done it?
No.
Oh,
so they could fit in the pan.
Oh.
She had a smaller pan. That was it. That was it. That's how
amazing.
It is amazing.
So instead of having the full ham, you've shrunk your productivity to meet the needs of having a smaller pan.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone off of tradition, but the tradition wasn't for any sort of reason.
Grounded in...
It was just because she had a smaller pan.
And we do that all the time, don't we?
100%.
We cut our ends off so that we can fit into the smaller pan of our environment. We constantly... This was another big reason why I left this job that I've just left, is because I was constantly being made to feel that actually I wasn't allowed to be as good as I could be at my job for the sake of the service users. I had to be slightly crapper at my job to fit in with the team because they were too threatened to come up in line with me. So I had to make myself worse at my job so that I didn't step on any toes.
People aren't open.
What is that? And we do that all the time.
People aren't open-minded. They're not open to learn new ways.
Because this is the way I've always done it.
Yeah, you should get a job. You should save up for 10 years and then you can get a buy-to-let. That's the normal route. You shouldn't be starting a savvy business where you can control properties. That's not what people do.
Which, by the way, if having a job and trading your time for money is working for you, we're not here to tell you to change that. If you love what you do and you're lucky enough to make a good enough income where you don't have to worry about money, let us know in the comments whether you've got any jobs going and I might apply. No.
We're spreading awareness that people can be a lot more open-minded to go into any sort of thing that isn't the norm.
And this is why we're seeing a boom at the moment in all of these coaches across the board, coaching all sorts of different things, aren't we? Because studying hard at school, going to university, getting that career where you're going to stay there forever. I mean, this was another thing, isn't it? This is the way it's always been done. Traditionally, this model that we've been sold there, that career model, was based on loyalty both ways. I was going to be loyal to my company. They were going to give me a decent pay rise every year. They're going to make sure I didn't have to worry about supporting my family, didn't worry about paying my bills. But that's not the case now, is it? Money saving expert reckons if you're not changing jobs every 2 years, the pay rise you're getting off your companies is not in line with the rise in living costs, and therefore you're taking a pay cut year upon year upon year upon year. Companies aren't loyal. You're disposable to these companies now, right? And the only way to be non-disposable
is to be curious, open-minded,
to grow.
Yeah. And if you're stuck in the mindset of I'm always right, you know, I'm the oldest, I've been in the game for so long, I'm always right, I've always done it that way, then you're stagnant.
And this has been the case since caveman days, isn't it? Where the elder of the tribe would go, no, we don't cross that. We don't cross those hills. We don't go past those hills. We've never gone past those hills. It's not safe. You're going to die.
You quite possibly would have.
You quite possibly would have. But actually, what if the other side of that hill was an Eden? Yeah, and sometimes it would take that young, bold, stupid, reckless guy to go, actually, no, let's give it a go. Let's go over that hill to find out what was there. And
that's because they were in control. Everybody had to listen to them.
Right.
It's like, no, I know best. I'm in control. Where you might have someone younger with a really curious mind, a problem solver. It's like, why can't they explore those options without being targeted like you're doing things?
Suppressed.
suppressed, like you're doing things wrong.
And that's okay to get things wrong as well. We've done this a couple of times on this podcast about getting things wrong, to be able to ditch the fear of what people are going to think about you for being wrong and to give it a go because you're in the pursuit of what you want or what you feel you need from life is paramount, right?
I also think like the normal way of doing things is ownership, right? And I know I keep going down this road, but ownership, you see a picture of, let's say, a 25-year-old couple. They upload a picture of quite a fancy house behind them, an Audi A1 on the driveway or a BMW.
Some kind of German car, middle lane driver.
We've just bought our first home, and you'll see loads of people like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. It's like, and you see someone's like, just got my first rent to rent, and they'll have 2 likes. It's crazy how we just celebrate the norm.
I've spent the last 20 years, me and my partner, working 1.5, maybe 2 jobs to save and save and save to buy this liability that I'm now entirely responsible for, that we're going to be paying off now until we retire, if we're lucky enough to retire. Congratulations, well done. You're now stuck in a miserable job that you hate and you're going to have to go to every week. Rather than, actually, I've for £3,000, I've just managed to secure a property that is not a liability that's going to make me £800 a month and get me out of my job. Oh, that's dangerous. That sounds like a con.
I think it's what people don't understand. They can't celebrate, which I get. If you're not open to explore, that's
really good. I like that.
I don't talk to many people outside of the mentorship about what I get up to.
Why?
Because they won't understand, and I judge everybody by how they approach me. So if they approach with huge energy, I'll match. I match everybody's energy. I match your energy. I match my client's energy. Yeah. So if somebody's coming at me, what is that? What is that thing you do? Straight away, I can read energy. You can read it. Everybody can read energy, and I'll just match it.
Right?
It's just this property thing I do. Yeah, I don't want to. I've clocked off.
I'm an online estate agent.
Or if they're like, oh, Kenny, I see what you're up to. Like, that's amazing. How do you do it? I'm like, yeah. This is exactly what I do, because I know they're curious, but if they show no sign of curiosity and all they do is like trying to target it, I won't give them any ammunition, because people are so sold on what they do and they believe is correct, which is fair enough. The lane they've been stuck in for years, if they find out that they've actually done it wrong, not even saying they've done it wrong, but there was a better way of doing things, they won't admit to their failures. If they realize that they could have just fast-tracked and gone over there, they'll kind of look at it in terms of that's immoral.
But like on one side, we're open enough to believe whatever we see on social media and in the news and things like that. But on the flip side of that, we're not open enough to be explorative and to consider that actually a different way of doing something could be extremely advantageous to us.
I don't know.
And this is, I think, like we're in an age now where the mold is broken, right? The game's changed since we went to school, certainly.
100%.
Right?
All of my students between the age of 20 and 25, none of them have a Facebook account.
Incredible. What social media are they using?
TikTok.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, there's a clear break between the generation, and it's where the new generation are using social media. None of my students are on TikTok, on Facebook.
Or Instagram.
Facebook is full of complainers and moaners, whingers,
keyboard
whiners,
warriors. I'm not willing to do anything different in my life
mad.
to make my life better, so I'm going to try and bring you down
100%
to my level.
It's incredibly evident to me, because on TikTok it's all supportive comments, on YouTube it's supportive comments, Instagram, and then Facebook is it's either nothing or haters.
Right.
I'm open-minded to the right people. I'm closed-minded to the people that I don't want to take advice from.
Who's to say that you are taking, that's subjective, right? That's a matter of opinion as to whether you are taking advice from the right person or the wrong person.
I only take advice from people that are doing the thing I want to be doing. So if you're not fit and you're not in any shape, I will not take nutritional advice from you at all.
Yeah.
I'll look like I'm listening, or I'll just passively agree, because I don't want conflict.
We'll pick up on that in another week.
Not really.
Yeah, we will.
Nobody likes conflict. I don't want to create it.
Yeah, I have to create conflict to get out of a conversation you're not interested in.
Do you want to take this outside?
Yeah, let's go. No, genuinely, I've got a lot more comfortable now with breaking conversation.
100%, but let's unpack that. If I was massive and I struggled to sit down and I'm out of breath, and you're on the keto diet, and I sit here and be like, you should not, whilst my chin is waggling, you should not be on that. Are you going to take me seriously? Like, okay, yeah. I'll stop. You're going to be like, oh, okay. You're not though, are you? You clearly won't take advice from people that are clearly doing the opposite to what you want to do.
No, you always, this is the whole thing about hate never comes from above.
Boom.
Right? Hate never comes from above. It will always come from somebody who's not doing as well. And we can go into the driving factors behind that. If people want us to, let us know, and we can go into that. But I'm not going to. It's quite a big subject in itself.
Negative subject as well.
Hate never comes from below. If you look at all these people, we did it, didn't we? When you had that viral post and everybody was telling you to walk into the sea and everything, I spent like 5-10 minutes, and you spent 5-10 minutes going through some of the profiles that made the most malicious posts, like telling you to go kill yourself and things like that. And one of them, like their Facebook,
they're all cat owners.
They're all don't have a job in the day, or don't have a business, or they're like the Jeremy Kyle watchers.
Oh, they just screamed.
You know,
horrible person.
The comments came in at
far left.
2-3 o'clock. Easy. It's still a podcast. The comments came in at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, or at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, in the ad break between Homes Under the Hammer and Sunny Homes, or whatever the crap it is. I don't watch daytime TV.
Losers, and he's telling me to calm down. Yet you're like, yeah, they watch EastEnders, Holly, Jeremy Kyle.
You know what? If you're up at 2 o'clock in the morning slamming people on Facebook, or if you've got nothing better to be doing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon than going on Facebook and telling other people how shit they are,
I mean, it's evident.
You need to look a bit closer to home.
100%. I'll never ever see Alex Hormozy on one of my posts saying, what a stupid business model.
No.
He'd be like, he'd encourage it.
Well, don't forget giving it a go.
Yeah.
Have you thought of doing this?
Yeah, or watch this might help you. Rob Moore sent me a DM. It's like, keep on keeping on, Kenny. After he saw that post went viral, over 1,100 haters comments. Rob Moore sent me a message saying, keep on keeping on, Kenny.
I think you had some landlords in there, but we know first-hand from some of the landlords we're working with currently that being a landlord at the moment is very high stress. It's very uncertain.
Very low profit.
They're looking at bringing the VAT brackets down. They're looking at bringing the tax brackets down. You're having to report 5 times a year. All of these things that are coming in to try and smash 100%. The crap out of small businesses.
So they're extremely frustrated, and then they see me make it look easy, and they look at my profit margins, and I didn't even buy that house.
Right.
They're projecting.
And you're looking at old-time landlords, usually, typically speaking, who have saved and saved and saved, or rented out 2 or 3 of their rooms in their house.
That day, that boat has sailed. That ship has sailed. It's gone. You need 40-50k now to buy a house on a buy-to-let to make £400 or £500 profit. That is not worth it. That's ridiculous.
It's a bad return.
In terms of an investor, it's like, okay, I'm going to put 50k down and I'll collect 500 a month. Yeah, great. No sensible investor does
rent to rent and refurbs. Really,
obviously you get the growth, the value of the asset over time. But if you're in a job and you want cash flow, you want to get out of your job, you should not be doing buy-to-let. You should start with rent to rent. Yeah. Replace your income, then start to buy properties through another limited company. Yeah. You know, just this year, I think 16,500 millionaires have left the country. Why do you think that is? I'm
not a millionaire, and I want to leave the country because it's
why? The government is so fair.
We're stuck, aren't we?
No, so fair.
No. What makes me laugh, right? It's been in the news. It was in the news last week. It was fucking Rachel Reeves, and she's kept her job as well, the bitch. So there's a question here, and this is why people are so angry, right? It shouldn't even be a question. So, for example, with all the tax and everything you've paid this year, you're letting out, let's say you're running an rent to HMO. You forgot to put an HMO license on your property, right? You're running non-compliant HMO, and you've got 6 people in that property, say. The council find out about that. What happens to you for that?
Fined, no doubt.
How much?
I don't know.
Let's look at the average. Operating a non-compliant or unlicensed house of multiple occupation, HMO, in the UK is a serious offence and can lead to unlimited fines if prosecuted in court. As an alternative to prosecution in court, local authorities can issue a civil penalty notice of up to £30,000 per offence.
Okay, so where are you going with this?
So this is what happens to you if you get caught running a non-compliant HMO.
Which I won't, because I only take on compliant HMO.
Rachel Reeves last week.
She's a lovely woman.
Gets found to be renting out property without the correct licensing, contrary to the local government's acts and policies and legislation, right? There's question about should she be able to keep her job as a minister? Is there integrity issues around that? Do you know what she said? I didn't know in this place that I needed that license.
Oh, Rachel, don't worry. Let's sweep it under the rug.
Right. Oh, don't worry, Kenny. That's fine. No, it's okay. You forgot to get an HMO license. No worries, mate. If you forgot...
It's like forgetting your hair,
that's fine. Oh, if you forgot to return your VAT, Kenny, that's not a problem. Now, I know this podcast is mindset and property, and we tried to be more positive positive on this, but when you've got parliamentarians,
Don't say words you can't spell.
if you've got people in parliament,
Speak to the camera,
if you've
bro.
got people in government that are accidentally making those mistakes, who's senior government, Rachel Reeves was the Home Secretary, and she's forgotten, despite that she's like the top body for making these kind of decisions on legislations in the UK. She didn't realise. Last I knew, ignorance wasn't a defence to the law. She's broken the law. No fines have been paid. But yet you trying to, or any of your clients trying to start a business, trying to get off there, make a small error like that, it's quite a big error to make, actually, running non-compliant. There's not really an excuse for it. Out of ignorance and not understanding the law that they're not even responsible for making or consulting on that law, but they've made a mistake, they get fined. They don't pay that fine, they go to prison. And yet we've got government ministers in the position where they just shrug it off like, oh, I didn't know.
I know.
Oh, that's fine, we should let her off.
They get away with it all the time, don't they? But why do you think 16,500 millionaires left the UK just this year?
Because they're lowering the tax thresholds. They're
Taxing us to death anyway.
everything.
They're taxing everybody. Like, Labour was meant to be for the working man. I feel like the working man has been hit the hardest.
No. So when Labour say, there's a misconception here. So when Labour say we're here for the working man, that translates in my head anyway. This is a matter of opinion, it's not a fact, but that translates in my head as we're here to keep the man working.
Love it.
Right? You shall not be free. You shall work.
You shall never be free.
Yeah, none shall pass. Right? That's what they're here for. They're here to keep the man working. They're not here for the working man.
Yeah.
And that's why after this 4 years, it's projected that we'll have an extra £10 in our pocket.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't it? They said
Thank
last
you.
year when they were elected.
Oh, thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
I told you, she's a good woman.
She is a good woman, but that £10, you're not going to be able to buy a Freddo for that £10, are you?
Yeah, it's a big conversation to be had.
Shrinkflation, overtaxing, overcosting on everything.
I read something the other day, and I'd say it's bang on the money. We are a welfare state combined with a country.
This is the thing that concerns me about them lowering to this £30,000 tax
That's
threshold.
ridiculous. I tell you that. Sorry, I cut you off, but
Yeah.
I 100% know why they're doing that, to kill small businesses from the get-go.
But where does that leave us? In a country where unemployment's at an all-time high.
It leaves us exactly down the path they want everybody to be going down.
Working man.
Working man.
Or on benefits.
Yep. One or the other.
Doesn't strike me as being the best way to do
You
things.
think, right, so service accommodation business, they can't get to 90k turnover anymore because it would kill them at 30k.
I have a friend, and this is turnover. This isn't 30k profit, that's turnover. I have a friend.
That's one property.
I have a friend who's got a construction business, does refurbs on houses and gardens and roofs and everything. £30,000 a year doesn't even cover their expenses on materials for the projects that they're working on.
It's ridiculous. So going back to service accommodation, you can become financially free and stay under the 90k threshold, but you can't with the 30k. That's just one business that's now effective, so
Yeah.
that keeps the man working. Yeah.
What solutions? Because we don't just offer problems here, right?
The solutions is to
not a
turn off the
problem.
telly, turn off the radio, never listen to anything they ever say. Concentrate on the 5 Fs: food, finances, fitness, friends and family. Nothing else matters. I say this quite a lot to a lot of people.
Say that
because
again. 5 Fs.
5 Fs.
Let's
food,
label this point. Food,
Food, friends,
Food on the table.
Friends, family,
friends, family,
fitness, finances.
fitness, finances,
What else? Nothing else matters.
shelter, arguably. But that's not an F.
That'll be in finances.
Okay, cool.
Nothing else matters. BBC News, they said this last week. Who cares?
And like, apart from that, if you watch the same story on 5 different news channels and you look at the differences between that story and how that unfolds, you'll see exactly what the media is about. Because it's not news.
British brainwashing channel, BBC.
British Brainwashing Corporation, yeah.
I don't watch it. I'd rather watch CBeebies with Jasper than watch BBC News.
It's more informative, right? At least you're learning
It's
something.
more educational.
Yeah.
BBC is de-educational.
That's why I don't pay my TV
Or realigning.
license. Yeah, that's why I don't pay my TV license currently.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time to watch TV. I'm in pursuit. So let's go back to this curse of being the smartest person in the room, right?
Okay.
I love this. Because like I said earlier, one of the big reasons I've left this job because of being made to dumb myself down rather than to shine and inspire in the workplace, right? And a lot of people do this. A lot of people are too scared to seem interesting or to... You ask somebody how their day is. I picked up on this in the last podcast we did last week, right? How are you doing?
Not bad.
Not bad.
2 negative words.
Not bad.
Not bad. You alright?
That's great.
Not bad.
Not bad. Why aren't you great?
I used to work with someone when I was back in a job, and what he used to say is good as fuck.
Right, beautiful.
Yeah.
Good as fuck. How is your life?
If you say that to yourself, you actually feel better.
Right, and if you believe it,
Yeah. Say it enough, you start to believe it.
and if you can't say good as fuck, What do you need to change to make your life good as fuck? So that next time I come and ask you what's been the most exciting part of your week, you're like, I don't know which one to choose from, rather than nothing's really happened. I find that so depressing. Oh, same old. That's the other one.
The thing is, I used to have that life, you know, going around and saying, not bad, same old. Yeah.
Same old does my head in.
Looking forward to the weekend. Something needs to trigger you. You need to get to a certain point and be like, everything has to change.
Yeah.
I have to unlearn everything I currently know to become a new person to make more money. You can't just go into making more money.
I get asked quite like people who see me on social media, they will come to when I've been to them, they say, your life looks amazing, your life looks incredible, so exciting, so interesting, you're off all over the place with music, you're doing this, that and business. I'm like, actually, yeah, it's incredible, it's absolutely incredible, and I love my life. There's a lot of downsides to this, but the upsides definitely outweigh it, and it means that quite often, I'm trying to be as humble as I can about this, but you will have the same. And actually, most of our mentees and most people who are out there chasing a dream or doing something with their life, and this is what I even have to say the caveat before I say it, that I am the most interesting person in the room. Why should I do that? Because I work really hard to have that life. I don't sleep very much. I rely on coffee. We are constantly in the pursuit of being better, of being more, of creating more for ourselves and our families and the people around us. As coaches, trying to take as many people as possible with us on that journey as well, so that they can do the same. Why should we be embarrassed about being the most interesting person in that room? Why should we not be like, level up, bitches? You know what I mean?
It's a good take. I always stand by, you should always forever be a student, but a student to the master of the route you want to take.
Like I said, we are the most interesting person in that room. You can take me out of that room and stick me in another room.
Yeah, take you out of that pond.
And I will be a complete failure by comparison to everybody else in that room. And I'll be like embryonic in comparison to other people in that room. And it's the humility. Being the cleverest person in the room is not a bad thing if you have the humility to say, but this is only one pond. And there's a massive ocean out there where there's going to be much bigger fish. And it goes back to being open-minded enough to be able to take on a challenge and go, I'm not completed yet. I'm still on a journey. I'm not the best in the world. I don't know everything in the world. I've got the ability to sit back and go, that's an interesting way of looking at things. That's an interesting way of doing things. You're doing it differently to me. How can I use some of your experience to boost my journey? Right? Instead of just going, you're wrong.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap up. We're gonna have to wrap up there. But my biggest takeaway and from this podcast is be more open-minded, but towards the right people. Match people's energy. Don't wear your heart on the sleeve. That's quite a negative thing to say, but if you're doing that to the wrong person, they'll kill your energy and it demoralizes you. So get around the right type of people.
100%.
Energy
people are going to build you up.
They're going to build you up. They're going to instill confidence. You know, in terms of the mentorship, me as a mentor, I guarantee if you hang around with me enough, you'll be hungry for success.
That's why we meet so often, isn't it?
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, we need that energy boost.
Yeah, bounce off each other's energy. But a lot of people want to see you win, but not do better than them because you'll remind them of their failures and why they haven't tried. So you need to get around people on the same path as you. And it's hard. You're 1%. Entrepreneurs, you're less than 1%.
Yeah.
So you can't listen to the 99%. So that would be my biggest takeaway.
I'm going to leave you with the future belongs to learners, not the know-it-alls. The future belongs to learners, not the know-it-alls. This week, try doing something a different way. Try something new that's scary that you haven't tried before. Step out on that ledge. Give something a go. Accept that maybe that you're not
base jumping.
Do it safely. Do it with the right instructors, the right gear.
Yeah.
Base jumping.
I signed up to stand on top of a plane.
I'm a bit jealous about that. I'm a bit jealous about that because that's pretty terrifying, right?
Yeah.
It's not even standing in a plane.
Yeah, honestly.
It's standing on the
plane.
wing. That's really cool. Are you doing it for charity or just for a laugh?
I haven't thought about it.
I'm just screening live on a podcast now. Like, are you doing it for selfish reasons or are you doing it to pay back to loads less sports?
I'm doing it to inspire the mentees that if I can stand on top of a plane and step outside of my comfort zone, surely you can pick up the phone and talk to an agent.
I'd love to do a bungee jump for the same reason.
Yeah, I'm 100% up for a bungee jump.
Let's go and find one.
We're going to end this now and we're going to book a bungee jump.
That's the one thing that I'm not sure. Yeah. I can challenge my head on a lot of things and go, just give it a go, you're fine.
Have you seen the Let Me Tell You Something?
Yeah. No. Yeah, fantastic. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I can override my head on throwing myself off a bungee jump.
Thanks, ladies and gents. See you on the next one.
Take it easy, folks.